Welcome to Islandwood. I'm so happy you're here. My name's Michaela. I'm really excited to show you around campus today. Let's go. As you get more familiar with this space, you'll be able to see more and more different kinds of green, different beings out there, and the older relatives in the natural world. What we've just walked is the path that students in the school overnight program walk as they come to Islandwood. Those are the students in your practicum that you'll be getting to teach every other week when you're a grad student here. They would then go off to the sides, but we're gonna come up to the Welcome Center, which is kind of the centerpiece of main campus here on Bainbridge at the Islandwood. We have events programs here on the weekends, SOP during the week, and grad students live here as well, by and large. It's a living and learning community. Come on in. We're gonna go into the Great Hall. It's a really powerful, important space here on campus, and I want you to draw your attention to the house post at the end of the hall on the stage. So this is a traditional Coast Salish house post, and it represents a really revered elder from the Upper Skagit tribe named Vi Hilbert. And Vi Hilbert's a huge presence here on this campus and in this area for her work in reviving the Lushootseed language, which is the language of the Coast Salish people. We're gonna pop into the dining hall real quick. I just need to grab a cup of coffee. So this is the dining hall where events, dinners happen, but also importantly for grads, where SOP students have all of their meals when they're here with us at Islandwood. It's one of the things that students remember the most from their time here, and the kitchen puts in so much work and so much time into making that food nutritious and accessible for and inclusive for all students here. The grads often eat in the PDR, but I'm gonna grab coffee real quick and then we can be on our way. We're gonna go to a really fun place here on campus. We are really fortunate to have 2 tree houses, and they are big favorites for SOP students here. This one's my favorite because it's kind of witchy, and it overlooks the bog, which is a pretty special part of campus. Our bog isn't a true bog, it's kind of part bog, part fen, but you can imagine a bog as like a cereal bowl of moss. A true bog doesn't have water going in and out. This has a little bit of water going out into the marsh. But when we go up into the tree house, we'll get a beautiful view of the bog, which might even still be in flower. Let's go up. So what I like to tell students when we come in here is that we're gonna enter this space with intention and curiosity. So set an intention and get curious. So being up here, you can kind of forget that we are in a city. We're in the city of Bainbridge, which is kind of like a suburb or bedroom community for Seattle. And we're really lucky to have that positioning and to be in this place on this land. It's the lands and waters of the Coast Salish people who have stewarded this land and continue to steward this land since time immemorial. And we encourage grads and the students they teach in the practicum to think about what stewardship looks like for them in their communities and here at Islandwood. So we are leaving main campus, which is where practicum happens, where SOP happens, where grad classes happen, and we're heading to grad campus. This is where most grad students live, though some folks do live off campus if you have pets or if you have partners. That's who tends to live off campus, or if you already live in the area. Our grad campus can house up to 22 grads, and there are cabins and a lodge, so kind of different options for folks based on their preferences. The grad garden is just for grads to design and learn with and from by themselves for the year. So you can choose what you want to grow, how you want to grow it. It's a way where you can teach each other, learn from the land, from the plants, and it's a space really that you get to make your own. This is Grad Commons, and it's where grads live, where it's like, imagine it as your living room for those who have cabins, and for anyone else too. Each cabin is set up kind of like an L, and there's a unit on each end that has a loft, and then the angle of the L is a shared bathroom. Grad campus is also a 10 to 15 minute walk from campus. So when you're heading to campus for class or for practicum, it's not too far. You can also bike there, and plenty of folks drive as well. That cabin back there was my cabin when I was a grad. So living intentionally together is part of the living and learning model here at Islandwood, and part of that community building that grads bring in themselves. On our way down to Max Pond, we're gonna walk by one of our other tree house, the learning tree house. We're here at Max Pond. It's a really beautiful place on campus. I know I've said that about everywhere, but it's also true here. We are really fortunate to have this space to learn with and in. Oftentimes there's a kingfisher around that you'll hear kind of flitting from tree to tree and making it known that this is his space. Behind me is the canopy tower, which is a teaching structure here at Islandwood that you can use to think vertically. Oftentimes when we look and we compare, we're just looking horizontally. But in a forest, as in many ecosystems, diversity happens along levels. So as you move up the canopy tower, what do you notice that's different? When you're up at the top, what does that vantage point give you? What can you see from up top that you couldn't have noticed down here? So off the canopy tower is the suspension bridge. As you cross it, what do you notice? What do you wonder? This is a space for lots of different things in teaching, but I like to use it as a place to reflect and to let yourself be immersed in the place around you. So as we go across, let's notice. So we're going to tour some more grad-focused spaces here on campus, the prep room and the grad classroom. This space is for you to work in however serves you best, but in particular, it's a place where folks who are in their teaching weeks during the practicum prep and gather for SOP. Any kinds of materials that you might want to use or need for teaching SOP are stored up here. So we're going to go into the grad classroom where a lot of grad life happens here at Islandwood. This is where practicum happens on Mondays and debrief lunch happens on Thursdays. Practicum prep on Mondays is the place where you get to set an intention for the week and get to work on a theme that you're going to be engaging with your students that week. Debrief is a time where we have lunch as a community and get to reflect on that experience. What worked? What didn't? What would you do different next time? Thank you so much for your time and coming on this campus tour with me. Don't hesitate to reach out and hope to hear from you soon.